I bet you've got a lot of these people that are playing doctor that have no medical degree, no nursing degree, but they're
Okay,
like,
easy it
"Hey,
is.
I'm
And maybe you
I'm
want to have
I'm an
several ranges,
EMT.
and that's
Everybody
easy to
gets
do.
to play their
The
little
big thing to
role
remember,
in
if
their
you
own
have
little
several ranges
world."
of hills, is that
And
each one, as it gets
it's
closer to you, should get a
I
little
mean, it's
darker in value.
disturbing.
So
If you
just
saw
add a
the
little more of the
Portland
dark
shooting, there
color
was somebody that
to that
came up
same paint
who was
mixture.
Antifa, who tried to help and had some sort of kit. And the police, if you notice, their reaction to it was totally disregarded. In fact, they kicked the what little Tupperware box she had out of the way. And I'll tell you what, I would rather have a police officer rendered me first aid after I got shot than someone who's playing dress up and has this, claims to be an EMT. Most of these
I
people,
identify as an EMT.
well, you probably have the training.
No, I'm not an EMT, but I have Red Cross.
Oh, I see what you're
Just
saying.
like
Yeah,
most
I
people.
didn't get that. I was slow on that one. Identify, yeah, I got it. But yeah, I mean,
I
I,
have
I,
Red Cross
I
training. That's about it from being a lifeguard and from
yeah,
being in the army.
yeah. I mean, anyone with military or a cop who knows I'm assuming everybody has had uh, uh, CPR, but that's not enough in a situation where somebody's shot. You need
Believe it
to
or not, not everybody's had CPR.
God, well,
You,
I mean,
you would
it's like for
think.
me, I was like 16, no, I was 15, and it was the same thing, lifeguard.
It's
You had to do
different now. They don't recommend that you do mouth to mouth. They just want you to pump the heart.
that. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'd
Or
certainly
is
need
that
a
so we don't
refresher
get the
course.
virus?
Well, no, I mean they started that a while. They as long as
There's
you're
a
getting
device you can
oxygen
have.
to the bloods keep, is doing and the airway is clear, they recommend not trying to force air into them unless um certain situations, but if it's a novice who does not know what they're doing, they just say massage the heart.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
you need to
I'm a
open the
novice in that
airway
case.
first.
Well, yeah, that's sort of a given, but yeah, you're right. I should have said that first.
Yeah, tilt the head
Yeah.
head back and
And
get
now
the.
and now we'll be deleted for giving medical advice.
Oh, jeez, no.
Oh, don't say that.
Disclaimer. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Uh,
It's
uh,
like
Hashtag no medical advice.
oh man.
I had it in the CPR class and when I was a lifeguard, and you had it when you were a lifeguard, and then they did it again when I was in the army several times. The army does that frequently, and of course I haven't had it since, and that's been what 23, 24 years ago. So it's been a while. I didn't know this, Dee. So tell us more of what you know on this subject, Dee, because
Which part? What?
well, on CPR because
Well, I was a
it's
lifeguard
getting
too. Back
important.
then, it was like everybody else learned it. You learn how to clear the airway. You know how to, um, rotate between. And now it's different. It just is different. And I'm not going to give medical advice because all I know is from what I have seen and what I have heard from people who are in that profession. They said that the most the main goal is to keep the heart pumping, and the
That's a
rest of
good
it,
idea.
that's their goal. And they
Yeah,
don't
pretty
want
much.
to force somebody to possibly not do it right. I guess. I mean, I thought that was pretty neat. You've been a lifeguard. Burdock's been a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard in Virginia Beach,
We
and
have stuff in common. That's why
it's
we
like,
get along.
Yes, I was
wow.
also a lifeguard.
Have you been a lifeguard too, Ninja?
Yes.
There we
Oh my
are.
gosh!
We all have something in common. That's why we're getting along so well.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's crazy, but a good crazy, a good
Yeah, it's
crazy.
good. It's great. Let's go swimming. That's why I want to go to the beach. It's like, wow.
I actually had to save one person's life, and it was a small child children do not float if they don't know how to swim. They go straight to the bottom.
Yep.
Babies do. I see those women having their babies underwater videos,
Right.
and then the baby's swimming like he is in the Nirvana album.
I think they have to be kind of taught to do that. Like, there's like a sort of way to get them to be
Yeah.
able to sort of, you know.
They're taught, but this was like a 2, 3 year old. Mom not paying attention, walked right off to the steps and down, and didn't struggle at all. It's like I'm underwater. I'm like, no,
They don't know what's going on yet.
no, they
They
don't.
don't.
No.
They must be supervised by the pool. That's why they put fences around pools now.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, what in all has happened with you today, Jim?
Well, I had to cut out for a minute because the swab doctor came to give me a swab
Okay.
because I have to have another COVID clearance test before I can go back to America. They're really picky. You can't get on the plane.
Oh yeah,
And I'll
that's
be
what I've
flying
heard.
on Morocco Airlines, and they won't even let you in the airport without the swab test. So
So, do
have
they
to.
give you just a piece of paper? Or are you in a computer or something, or how's that work?
Well, I'll have a piece of paper to show them, and likely it's in a computer. They took my ID to check it and stuff. So then, as long as I don't have COVID, then I will be home in about a week after I get the results. You don't get the results instantly.
No,
I'm,
there's a
I'm
couple
excited.
tests. There's a couple tests that are out there that you can get it within a couple hours, but
But
they're
those aren't
very,
accurate.
yeah, those are like presidential tests.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his are accurate, but the local ones that they're doing here in Morocco
Hmm.
are they're calling it the rapid test, and it's hit and miss. It's 50-50 if it's right.
Wow.
So you might as well just say you had the rapid test.
Yeah, I mean, can you? How much do the positive tests cost versus the negative ones? Are they?
It costs 800 euros for the one I got.
Oh wow, that's pricey, spendy.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I'm sure I got the tourist rate.
The tourist rate. Oh,
Tourists
okay. I
pay
got, I,
more.
I got you.
Everywhere you go, tourists pay more. I know, and a lot of Americans never travel outside of the United States. But when you go to other countries, they don't treat you fair, and you don't pay the same amount as other people. Like when I was in India, for example, if you want to fly from New Delhi to Mumbai, you pay double as a tourist than an Indian national would pay.
Hmm.
The tourist rate is double.
I could
So
see that maybe for a national park or something, especially if you're in a country where the economy is diminished. Sure, go ahead and charge tourists more, or charge locals less. But like what they do in Italy with the Japanese is insane. A hundred and
That's
twenty dollar hamburger.
Yeah, that's the thing
That's
there. That's a big thing.
yeah.
You go there, there's like a lot of sushi restaurants or just they like pretty trendy stuff, and sometimes you'll get a dish that doesn't have much on it, and it's gonna cost a lot, and then people want to buy the antipasto, the entree. There's like different entrees. There's like three different dishes at some point. Sometimes you get up to seven dishes if it's a big celebration, but you know, people pay a lot of money for food, and they'll sit around for like 4 or 5 hours at a time at a restaurant.
in Japan they do that also though. You pay by almost it's like you eat what you want, but you pay by the hour.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Hmm.
And the more fancy the restaurant, then you pay more. So you say there's four of us here talking, we would pay like $100 an hour to sit in that restaurant and eat whatever they have to feed us.
Well, that's
Wow.
kind of like Brazil.
It's
They've
kind of
got
cool, actually.
The
They call it.
churrascarias in Brazil.
They want to know that they call it. Their word is system. It
Hmm.
means system. What is the system for the restaurant? And some of them will be like $50, or it'll be in yen. It'll be like 5,000 yen or 10,000 yen. And of course, you get the more expensive it is, you would think it would always be better, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's just the same, only more expensive. And then, so Japanese are quite used to eating that way. So if that's what they're, but that's not the Italian way. So is this just them importing the Japanese style to make more money, or what?
Yeah, sometimes the thing is that people will cater to their taste, like their tongue, if you will, like like the recipe, like the recipes I was taught when I was working in like different restaurants for like 13 years. I would work at different areas, right? Well, I would try to learn the most traditional way, so that way I would know the difference between an American style and whatever else traditional style that was from that region. But they tend to do that too. So I've noticed uh, like for example, fried rice that you would get in a Chinese restaurant here would taste different than it would in uh, New York and Italy, in almost any other region. Like if you go like it'll either be saltier or sweeter. I've noticed. Like you go to I went to one restaurant in Italy and I was like, oh, cool, there's a Asian Chinese restaurant. Maybe we'll check this out. And I go and eat, and the rice is sweet. And I was like, this is supposed to be fried rice, and it's sweet. And all they do is just throw some ham, pieces of ham, and some peas. And I was like, it's not fried rice. That's not the thing that I'm used to. But yeah, I think it's like it depends of different. It depends where you are. They're gonna cater to what they like, and they'll probably adjust. Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, it's. I mean, that goes everywhere though. That's just pretty much everywhere.
I went all over Italy though, and nobody gouged me at all. I,
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
rare.
I didn't get treated wrong or unfairly anywhere. Just the one scary time on the street in Rome with my wife. But other than that, we were probably in the wrong part of town, quite honestly. Because we didn't know where we were. There was like it was freezing. It was like 20 degrees out, and we had the wrong clothes. We weren't expecting it to be that cold, and it was we probably were just walking around in the wrong part of town. But nobody gouged us for anything. From Venice to anywhere. The parking guy, the the guy that parked us in Pisa. Maybe I gave him too much money.
It could happen just because there's a conversion difference you're not aware of as well, and like also you're not even aware of what a general price is there sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't feel gouged.
Yeah.
Maybe I paid double for the food and it was just cheap anyway.
Yeah.
I love the restaurants that I went to. A couple of them were in Provence and in just the south central part of France and small towns where you just go in and sit down. There's no menu. They drop a carafe of wine on the table and they just serve you food, whatever they're serving that day. And that's it. Everybody's eating the same thing. And, too bad if you're a vegetarian. So,
Yeah,
seriously, it was like,
family
it, it,
style.
it was good. I mean, it's just what people do
That
there.
reminds me
They,
of Billy Madison, where the lunch lady says, "You're gonna have sloppy Joe. It's sloppy."
Oh, I had Glory Hole Restaurant yesterday with my friends. It's like there's like
oh God.
plexiglass between every chair with little holes that you can slide the food back and forth through. To It would be perfect in Vancouver, Canada, where the Glory Hole is legislated, I think.
Hmm.
Oh man.
All right,
Yeah,
we had
that's
the lifeguard thing in common. Um, Sound off if you are a sushi eater.
care.
I
I
am.
I am
I used to
too.
I used to make sushi at a restaurant for like 3 years.
Never ate it again after that, did you?
It's just expensive to prepare, and you've got to do a lot of stuff, and then you're like, well, you know, it just. I mean, unless you do it regularly, it's not so expensive. It could be cheap. It's just takes a lot of time to prep, you know.
I like the tamago, the little omelets that they make. Not they are so difficult to make it that way too, and
Oh,
the
the cone
only
shape.
sushi I really despise is uni.
Hmm.
Uh,
Uni is gross.
uni, that's the urchin.
Yes,
I
we
I've
don't
used
never
to
like
eaten
get
that
it.
one. I don't like that one. I don't like octopus either.
taco. I,
Well, if it's tempura style, most stuff you can pretty much eat.
that's Italian style. That's what it really is. It's like, how do you eat your octopus Italian style, please?
With a little bit of lemon juice on top.
So
I had some in
yeah,
Colorado that was like, you're nowhere near where there could actually be fresh fish except for in Vail they pay for a plane to come in and, drop off fresh
in,
fish and
in
they
Vale, yeah,
Vail, yes, in Vail. And
Vale is like, is anyone that lives in Vale not a billionaire?
well, I wasn't a billionaire when I lived in Vail.
You lived in Vale and you were not a billionaire?
Well,
Wasn't that
I
what
lived
all the
just
rich people
outside of
live? Like,
Vail. I'm trying to think what the name of the town was. I was like maybe 15 minutes from Vail. And
you know where Eagle is?
say that again?
Eagle, Colorado.
Yes, I do.
I like Eagle.
Eagle's nice too. And then you
Yeah,
have what is the other one? Ah, shoot.
Dinosaur. Dinosaur, Colorado is kind of fun.
There's the I'm trying to think what's the name of the plateau? When you go as high as you can go.
Leadville. Leadville, Colorado.
There's another one. It's like shoot. I'll have to go look through my pictures to go and find it. But you get up there and there's snow still there in the um in the summertime.
I think isn't Leadville the highest town in the contiguous United States, or in the United States? I think it's the highest uh, town that has like a post office. I
Wow.
think
It
it's
it's
up there.
possible. I went I would when I was there I had somebody driving me, which was really nice, and I took a lot of pictures. Um
Oh,
so it's nice to have somebody be able to drive and you actually be able to see it and not just see it from the highway kind of thing. But I saw some very interesting things like wild buffalo and goats that climb the mountain and saw a bear at one time when we were in the third story condo. My dog was going nuts, and come to find
You're
out
not,
it was a big bear downstairs.
you're not talking about Boulder, are you?
No, 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 no. Boulder, not so high. It's like when you're driving 70, it's like you just keep getting going up. You have to have a pretty good vehicle. And then when you come
yeah. I was
down, yeah, it's
I
different.
was a little further south. I lived for, let's say, 3 years,
Hmm.
and our home was at 9,600 feet in elevation. So baking takes on a whole new meaning at that elevation. Even your car is going to
Yes.
be
Oh yeah,
driving
wouldn't it
differently.
be harder just to keep up the flames?
Yeah, I mean, you need to cook things longer, and
Hmm.
water takes a lot longer to boil. There's a bunch of different things that if you're baking,
And
it's totally different.
it takes a while to get used to the how high up you are as far as breathing goes too.
Yeah, apparently it takes you about a month or longer, or
Yeah, it could take, I
anywhere
think.
from 2 weeks for your white blood cells actually at that elevation are going to double. And I had a job down in Belize at the time, and I was going every other week to from sea level to 9,600 feet.
Mm.
And the doctor, I was telling the doctor about this, and she's like, well, how often are you doing that? And she said, well, your blood cells aren't even able to get back to normal by the time you get back down to sea level, and you feel great when you're at sea level. I mean, you feel like you can just run forever. That's why a lot of people do uh, all their training up there, Olympic training. If you're, if you're, that's a great place to go training.
That makes a lot of sense too, because of the way, or because water and oxygen, and it's pushing the air around, and and
Yeah,
plus, you're not so elevated; it's not so hard to breathe.
yeah. And then when you fly right back after
You
being
know,
at
you
sea
can do
level
that
for a while.
easier. That you just do what's called blood doping. It's much easier.
Oh yeah, start jacking yourself up with.
I know the
Oh,
first that I was told to make sure drink plenty of water as soon as you get there, or you'll get dehydrated really quickly.
when
You
is
know.
it that we're not supposed to drink plenty of water? Okay. I
I don't
mean,
know.
You can
You
drink too
know,
much water.
I know that when the weather got bad, I moved down off the mountain and I stayed in Lone Tree. My office was actually in Centennial, so I would drive 2 hours and 15 minutes one way to work.
oh,
Yeah, but it was
that's got to be
beautiful.
harsh,
So
and in
it
the
was.
winter, that's got to be rough.
That's why I had to come down off the mountain in the wintertime. It just
Hmm.
was. It was too much. I got stuck on the mountain one time, and that was all it took for me. I was in a rental house um, after I came back down off the mountain. I'm like, I'm not getting stuck up here on 70 for another
Hmm.
4 hours. Yeah, praying that I didn't run out of gas.
So you were right, Jim. Even just 10 minutes ago, ABC News posted the deputy director of Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's community initiative has been fired for posting memes appearing to support the teen arrested in the fatal shooting of two men in Kenosha. So somebody got fired for posting memes appearing to support, Kyle Rittenhouse.
That is a shame because it seems like almost everyone in America is supporting him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, wait until, I mean, they made a huge mistake with this one, charging this guy with murder. I mean, it's just, there's a gun, an apparent gun violation, but even that is in question. So even Colin Noir, I don't know if you know that guy. He was
Sounds
discussing
familiar.
that a little bit, and he seems to think that given the situation, that he'll even skate on those charges. Now, charging this guy with murder, you need to prove that he went there with the intent of killing somebody.
And
Um,
to your point there was video surfacing of, well, I think I even caught it in the live stream, but also somebody had took a snippet and showed that Kyle Rittenhouse was, even with a fire extinguisher, getting ready to help put out flames that Antifa put into a
they
garbage,
think
He was
they
being an
think that
all-around
he's
good boy. He
they
was
think that
being
he's the
pretty
guy
good.
that put that dumpster fire out, and the guy that was saying "kill me, nigga, kill me," um, is the guy, one of the guys that set the fire, and that's what that altercation turned into, was that they set a dumpster on fire and they were going to push it against a building
right? I saw
and
that.
try to set the building on fire, and he came in and extinguished it. And that's when, and it's so, that video is so blurry because he's just running by, but there's clearly him with a fire extinguisher later in the same color clothing. So
If
um
O.J. Simpson can be acquitted, this guy is certainly going to get off.
Oh yeah, but the problem is that I mean, and I think that the four cops in Minneapolis are going to get off for the same reason. They overcharged them, especially the guys that they charged with aiding and abetting a murder. They have to prove that all three of them knew that this guy was planning on killing somebody. Which I mean, how can you do that? You're going to have to
Not
come
only
over
that,
and say,
they're
well,
just
Right.
controlling the crowd. They're looking away from what's going on.
yeah,
Until
I
there's
mean, all
video.
of it. So they're charging all of these people with murder, and the guy in Phoenix as well who got hit by the skateboard and shot that dude. That guy's going to get charged.
And
I
wait,
mean,
and you know what happens when this happens when they overcharge like this, and they
they
get
get off.
acquitted, and they get acquitted.
It's called Rodney King.
It's Rodney King. That's right. Then your city burns down again. It's a,
Yep,
they got to stop it. They got to start. They got to. The politicians and judges in America have got to start acting like adults.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. I mean, just attorneys without bias. And the DAs have to realize that, listen, I'm going to stand up for what the charge warrants, not what the media is threatening me with, or the deep state. I'm sure that the deep state goes all the way down into local politics, and those are the people that are pushing for these murder charges. Pretty
I'm
terrible
wondering
stuff.
if they are. I'm wondering if the riots are in Lincoln because I was pushing for the captive American panda breeding program in Nebraska.
It could be. They seem to be following you around. I mean, like if you take a look at what was going on in Africa, I mean, a lot of this stuff seems to be following you, Q.
Trouble kept following me. I'm not cute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, damn, we're live, aren't we? I'm sorry, I can't help myself, man. I mean, it's just like,
It's
it's
comedy.
yeah. Well, uh, it's just going to be funny. And I hope you talk to ABL. I sent him another email. I know that guy's super, super busy. He said on the show he wanted to talk to you. He's a genuine guy. So, and the cool thing is that if we can get him, then you can maybe talk to Jericho Green and on Noir, because all those guys are like really common sense conservative. Now, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just like you're getting into the gun people, but they're nice people too. And the other
But
guy that would be cool would be Johnny Q. Uh, so he'd be cool to talk to as well.
I'll
Uh,
talk to those people that you were mentioning. I heard you when I had my mic muted and I was getting my nose reamed. Um, I don't mind talking to ABL or that other guy, but
yeah.
I have flash news. The news
What's
is
up?
out. Um, CenturyLink is responsible for the internet crashing the other day.
Oh wow.
What were
They
they doing?
all of like when Cloudflare, Reddit, Hulu, AWS, and Blizzard, Steam, and Xbox crashed, it was CenturyLink's fault. And I just got that from my fiber optic engineer.
ZDNet article. What else?
No, I'm reading it on CRN.
Okay.
I don't read ZDNet anymore.
I do have an update from somebody in the chat room. Victor says that he lives in Divide, Colorado, 18 miles to Cripple Creek, and his house is at 92,000 feet. My living room looks outside the sliding glass door, and he's looking at Pikes Peak, which is the one that I had in mind. But thank you, Victor, for sharing that. And that is so awesome that we actually have somebody
Wow.
else besides Babyfist who's listening in Colorado. That's cool.
That's that's like
That's
up above where you can't get water to like boil at a decent temperature or something.
well, welcome to a fellow person from Divide. That's exactly where I live. That was the town. I didn't want to name it, but I don't see the harm in it
Both of
anymore.
you are named now.
Divide is not it's one stoplight. So yeah, over in Highland Lakes is where I was, and man, we had bears and everything. It's a beautiful place. It's a lot different than any other place. You got Manitou Springs in Colorado. Yeah, you've got you know just
And
gun
Manatee,
ownership, gun
there's a
ownership, and gun ownership in Teller County is something like in the 90 percentile. There's no crime. It's a nice place to live. It really is beautiful. So
you bring
they
up manatees. I like manatee. That's the best meat you've ever had.
Okay,
So
it's
you had a,
Manitou, Manitou
oh,
Springs,
I'm sorry.
which is kind of like a interesting area. It's kind of in this. Yeah, I think you dig it. It's kind of like a little hippie enclave that's got an old Western feel to it. It really is. It's a interesting place. It's got a really nice vibe, and people kind of keep to themselves. But it's kind of like maybe a liberal pocket, you would say. A lot of people live there that are liberal. A lot of people found themselves kind of like I don't know, but they're all super nice people. And then you go to Cripple Creek, which is where we've got there. They got casinos there. Problem with Cripple Creek is that if you need anything, really, you're in for a hell of a drive.
Isn't there a Grateful Dead song about Cripple Creek?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not too familiar with the Dead, aside from hearing a lot of it.
Up on
But
Cripple Creek.
Cripple Creek has got a good history. I mean, you want to talk about like some famous shootouts have happened there. Cripple Creek is where a lot of mining, obviously, gambling, and ice. That's where,
Be careful when
you
you
know,
say ice, we'll get deleted.
yeah, well, as frozen H2O.
There you
There we go.
go. What
But
is
yeah,
that?
I mean,
That
what a
somebody who's
Those,
listening
those
from
white guys were
Colorado?
talking about methamphetamine.
What is the isn't it Idaho Springs that have those great buffalo burgers at that one little joint?
Idaho
Just,
Springs.
just, just east of Fourth of July Pass,
Buffalo burger, damn.
Yes,
you
before
can
you get to
get great
Coors Light.
buffalo burgers.
Buffalo.
I know on 90. When you go 90 across the Fourth of July Pass, before you go up, there's a great buffalo burger restaurant, but I can't remember the name of it.
I've had buffalo cheese, buffalo mozzarella cheese.
Wow,
What?
in Italy,
Yes, it's a
that's Italian.
it does taste different. There's a big difference. People, I don't know why I like it. I'm not too fond of it, but I like the regular old. But
Until you've had manatee milk, you are not.
Isn't manatee that big,
Yes,
They're
manatee's the
huge.
beef of the sea.
Have you ever hung around manatees? Like they're really like they're
they're like a
I
dog.
guess they're beautiful in their own way, but I mean they're really kind of scary and ugly when you see them for the first time.
Yeah, they
they're
fit. They go on a
huge.
trip. They're for us.
They're massive, yeah, and they kind of hang out in these big pools, and you can't at least where I went, you you couldn't motor in, so you had to
Yeah,
go
because
Oh,
in.
right,
so
right, right.
they're also stupid. They're like cows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they'll like go and look, and
They'll,
they're like
they'll like
uh,
run into the boat. It's like they're
yeah,
dummies.
yeah.
But
So
now
I
that they're
actually
not
did talk
endangered
to a
anymore,
guy.
we can eat them.
I talked to a guy, and this guy. He was a client way back when, uh, and I'm not going to give any other
I think I
hints
know
on
what
the
you're talking about. It's where I learned about manatees.
who he went to a restaurant in Florida, which is like this underground restaurant that, and they serve manatee there when it was totally illegal.
I
And I,
remember.
okay, it's like, is that really good? I mean, can it be that good? I don't know. I've never had it.
It's the beef of the sea, according to him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I've turtle eggs, and people freak out when you say that. It's like, how dare you? And he's like, wait a minute.
I've
I
eaten
just,
turtle.
yeah, but I mean,
People eat
turtle eggs
turtle.
are
Turtle is
incredible.
people food.
They're so
Absolutely.
good. They're so good. It's like this. The shell is like a membrane, and that you can just the way they serve them. And this is down in Panama, and it's totally legal, and it's not against any. There's certain turtles that
Oh.
are, you got to have
Is
a
it
problem with.
is it like a yolk or is it like a balut or what is it called?
No, it's not like balut at all. This is like they're small, probably like 2D, probably the size of a quarter, and maybe larger. Yeah, maybe a little bit larger than a quarter, shaped like an egg,
How are they
and
cooking it?
they boil it in a hot with peppers, and they when it cools, the peppers, it remains hot inside the membrane, and the spice actually gets into the the membrane itself, and so you just serve it in a. I mean, you can buy it for 50 cents or $1.50 for a basket of them in bars around Panama City, and you just go and you just nibble off a little bit of the membrane with your teeth, and then squeeze it, and you suck out all of the turtle, and it's good. It's really good, spicy.
I've
You could
had
like,
quail
oh,
eggs raw before.
Quail
whale.
eggs are good on
Quail
everything.
quail eggs raw.
Yeah, I didn't know whales laid eggs. I thought
No,
they were mammals.
quail, quail.
No, you can crack those things on anything hot.
Mm.
Asians love them.
I
So
like
if you got
I like
noodles or yeah.
ostrich eggs a lot. I will hard boil ostrich eggs,
Man.
How long does
and
it
then
take to
and
do
then I
that?
then I and I boil them extra hard so that they're really firm,
The
and then I
dinosaur
slice
egg.
it. Then I slice them like steaks, and I serve it like steak with my family.
Wow.
Do you take the shell off first?
Yeah, and the shell you have to take off with a hammer.
Yeah, it's got a thick. I mean, it's a big egg.
Yeah, it's a thick shell,
How
and you
long
got to
does it
tap it
take to
around with a
cook
hammer, and
a
you take it
baked
off, and
ostrich egg?
It's
after
like an
you've
hour.
boiled it, you can slice it like steak, and it's nice.
It's like an hour, right, Jim? To 60, 70 minutes, something, depending on
Yeah,
the size of it.
I boil it for an hour. You're good.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm learning new things every day.
And it's not a wrong thing. They've sold them in the supermarket here for years, where I was living. And they probably, if you're Australian, it's like they don't even think about it. They just have them. It's like they're playing football with them. It's
Well,
like,
they eat kangaroo in Australia, and
they
What?
eat
it's just
kangaroo in America too, because I remember when McDonald's got in trouble for having kangaroo in the hamburger.
I thought it
you
was
know. I
something else they had in the hamburger.
They got
uh,
caught with kangaroo in the hamburger.
Okay. I didn't hear
well, the
about
other one
the kangaroo.
that's really good is and I caught my ex-wife on this. She didn't like red meat. And I said, well, okay, so anything poultry, like a bird, any bird. And I mean, I like to hunt, so duck, geese, pheasant, quail, chucker, everything's fine and good. And so I come
That's kind
across,
of red meat.
well, I mean, her thing is like any bird is okay. That was her thing. And
I
so I went in
picked
and I
a bird I
found
didn't like.
there was a really cool place. I hope that they're still in business. Called Zanato's. I don't know if you remember that place in. Well, you didn't spend that much time in San Jose. I don't know if we ever met in San Jose.
No, we only
But
talked on the phone.
oh, okay, yeah. But Zanato's had like ostrich meat, and this stuff. Wow. So I go and I make these tacos, and she just devoured them, just absolutely devoured. And it's red meat. It's ostrich meat is definitely. I mean, it's like bleeds like a steak, and it's so good, especially in tacos with fresh lime and cilantro and a little bit of. You want to have some onion in there. Mm, yeah,
I'm
Absolutely.
getting hungry. You know,
Chart.
they're messing with our live stream. We must have a a veg person watching our.
Oh yeah.
Vegan.
We're having a non-veg conversation, but there's a veg person that's censoring it.
So anyway, she freaked out when she found out that it was an ostrich. For some reason, that's too big of a bird. I didn't tell her. I just, told her that, just try it. It's not beef. I promise you, it's not beef.
It's good.
And it's,
I had it in fried rice, ostrich fried
yeah.
rice. There's a Chinese restaurant just off of Market Street in San Francisco that serves ostrich fried rice.
Mm,
And
yeah.
How does that
I can't
taste?
remember the cross street. It's the same. There's a cross. There's a Safeway by the Mint in
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
and that street that the Safeway's on that crosses Market Street. It's on that street, and
Got it.
they're probably out of business now. I mean, like all of
No,
the
they
restaurants that are
gentrified.
owned by nobility are out of business now.
No, I know the one you were talking about, and that's gone now. I think that's all gone.
I might have
But
even fed you ostrich there before.
I know, but we've
Why did
had some different food. But getting back to Ninja's question, I think it tastes more like beef than chicken.
Okay, so it's got a consistency of a beef flavor then.
Yeah, I mean, like I've only had it. I've never had steak. I've seen it, and it looks like a really lean steak, but it's red, like really red, and ground. It looks like a super lean ground beef, and I think it tastes more like beef than chicken. But there is, I mean, it's nice. It would be perfect for like wontons or anything like pot stickers if you wanted to do
Oh,
uh, like filling meat.
yeah,
I can't, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But
I used to make that at the house. In fact, my wife the other day made her own fresh noodles. Like she rolled it out with the I call it the tortilla roller. It's like a little roller, the rolling pin. There you go. But yeah,
yeah,
wontons are good.
and
Or
I mean, what I
stickers,
would
pot
do is
stickers.
just buy the steaks, and if you got a grinder, grind in some pork fat with it, just in case, keep those Muslims away, right? So no, but it does need some fat content
Yeah.
if you were going to be using like if I mean like ostrich sausage would be really awesome, I mean, just hit it up
You
with
need
the
to put a little
rosemary.
Crisco in with it while you're cooking.
Yeah, pork fat, duck fat.
Throw some peppers in there into the sausage link and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Sounds like
Duck's a little
all right.
greasy and wild gamey tasty for me.
Uh, oh, you got to love a little bit of game though, don't
You
you?
know
I
what I
mean,
don't like, and I have eaten. You know, you brought up turtle. Not I have never eaten turtle eggs, but the actual turtle, I've
turtle
eaten
soup.
a lot of it. Not because I didn't like. It was just that was what was for dinner, and I didn't like it at all because it's so like it's
Greasy?
gritty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like eating eel or unagi. You know, it's like gritty. You can taste the dirt in the
Yeah,
meat. If you
and
don't cook it right,
it's
you
kind
get
of
salmonella.
fishy, and it's you know um I don't know, from what I understand, we were trying to do it, and in Chinatown what we did, and we were planning on doing it, is you go get all the baby turtles, and
Sell
they've
them.
they've got them they've got them for sale, and you bring them back and you need to feed them. What was it? I can't remember what we were supposed to feed them, but you're supposed to clear out their system for like 3 or 4 days before you kill them and turn them into soup.
Yeah,
It
you
was
put it like in water and make them swim and just keep their head up out of the water.
Well, and then you're supposed to feed them something that to get all the fishiness out of them. I don't know. It was an old school recipe, and it says time of preparation or whatever is like 4 days.
And probably it wasn't prepared right. And if they had done that, like you do with clams, well, you put clams and you rinse them through the water for a day before you eat them, and
Right.
then they're always better. Otherwise, they're really sandy. You know, it's like I don't like to eat sand.
Well, and they kind of, I think you just need to just flush them with stuff that doesn't taste good. I mean, flush them with the,
Well,
clear water or
you can flush
whatever.
a clam probably, but you can't flush a turtle. A tur-
Well, you make them eat something. I can't remember what it was. It's like some kind of grain. I think it's barley or something that they eat.
Yeah,
Something.
that makes a big difference with a lot of cuisine. Like even duck, they feed like really like in the people who like a French chef will like a famous French chef will do a specific type of feed for the ducks, so that way
Yeah,
the outcome of the meat tastes different. You know, it actually makes a difference. You know.
well, yeah, and they're force feeding those. We got a joke going on. I can't remember how it associates back to me. We we actually did have one of the old school force feeders that you would shove down a goose or a duck's throat and force feed them grain for foie gras if you're raising them for foie gras. And it you know, and then they banned foie gras in California for a while.
That's
Some
like
group got a hold of that, and then I
that's like
guess they kind of
raw.
repealed part of it.
That's like I'm trying to remember the recipe foie gras. What it's like can you explain it a little bit more? It's like I haven't
Well, I mean, you're
in
going
a
to
while.
be using goose or duck liver, and you cannot serve foie gras without Sauterne wine. There's only one wine that, I mean, I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're being such a snob" or anything like that, but I
Oh no,
mean,
that makes a
I'm
difference.
telling you, it's just Sauterne foie gras. That's it. There is only one wine for it. I mean, try it with everything else, and even take a cheap sauterne. They even make cooking sauterne, and it's going to be better than any wine that, an opus. And foie gras is not going to be as good as a cooking sauterne and foie gras. So,
Yeah,
but if you've got foie gras in your hands, you're going to be, having a little bit of money, spring for some better wine. And oh my God, that's the two of them. I don't know why people serve that at the beginning of a meal. That to me is at the end. So I had that at my wedding dinner, and that was the sixth course. That was all the way at
fancy.
the end because you're getting sweeter and heavier and fatter. And it's like, and then that goes directly into dessert.
Yeah, I like
After,
taking the adventurous route for the tongue. Like I have like if I'm new to it or maybe something I like and there's lots of different dishes, I'll get something just to cleanse my palate. But
yeah.
also wine makes a big difference. Like depending on even cooking with wine, I have my wife does another dish where it's turkey with bay leaves and rosemary and a few other spices with red wine and also is it tomato sauce too or just the red wine? Love
Oh no, the Sauterne is a white
tomato
syrupy.
sauce.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put tomato sauce on any
It's like
sort of
a
foie
well
gras.
this is well I mean yeah this is a totally different
Oh, I'm
recipe.
sorry, I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's a totally other dish. But like I say, cooking with specific wine or even just drinking the wine with dishes makes a difference. Like for one, your mouth will salivate, which is basically activating your tongue to be prepared. Like to it makes you how do you say prepare for that dish. You know, like it gets you going, get you prepped.
Yeah, and one thing which is really cool, and I know just turned into a cooking show, but everybody seems to be interested, is um,
I'm
I
into
was
it.
lucky. I was lucky enough up to spend a decent amount of time up in Seattle, which we had a place right next to Pike Place Market. And that's to me one of the best markets, or at least it was. I don't know what it looks like now, but it was one of the best places in the world where you could almost find anything. And then, of course, the seafood is a no-brainer on that. I mean, and you're going to have to be doing your crab and lobster and all of that. But you've got access to incredible wine and spices, and I mean, just Pike's Place Market is incredible. And so every weekend that I flew up there, I would be cooking, and that would be the whole thing. Uh, and it was a decision where I would go into the wine store where you get to know these people, and you talk to them, and if they've got something that's really special, you buy that wine and then you go and figure out what you're going to eat. Or you can go buy what you eat and figure out what wine. But it can happen both ways, you know. So
Yeah,
I
you know
know a
what?
lot of people that buy
I've
the wine
never
first.
I never was into that until, of course, meeting my wife. That was just a thing, and then as a person who is like working in multiple restaurants and learning about that, I was like, yeah, it makes sense if you want to be a little spiffy, a little razzle dazzle, But
Snobby.
but yeah, but it makes a difference, You're gonna if anything, that's the best thing you can do to yourself is give yourself a little treat.
Well, if you've got like a 2002 Opus 1 and you're going to you made a decision to open it, or I don't know, I mean, but that's a good example.
Yeah,
You're going
age makes a
to
difference.
like you're going to start with that wine and you're going to create the meal around it. You're not going to just say, oh, here,
Oh yeah, definitely,
some pizza
definitely.
or something like that.
Beer,
And
beer and pizza goes good together. That's a thing.
oh no, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you can do, is there beer? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Is there beer, or is there any other beverage? Is there a coffee, a specific type of coffee that would make you want to eat a certain type of breakfast, or a
Yeah.
beer that would make you want to eat a certain type of meal? I mean, actually, you know what? For me, sushi, yes, there is like lighter beers. If I'll be tasting,
Blonde.
like if I find a lighter beer that's crisp and nice, um, even for some reason, I like Hefeweizen with sushi.
I
I
do
don't see.
too.
Yeah,
And I like it almost frozen
yeah, super
with
cool.
the wheat just kind of floating in it.
I'm the only
Yeah.
non-beer drinker. I don't like beer.
How about mead? Do you like mead? Like honey wine,
Honey wine, yes. I
champagne. Do you enjoy champagne?
uh, uh, occasionally.
Yeah. So I mean, like you can have. There are so many inspirations. Champagne, number one. Wow, you can have a meal based around champagne.
Well,
That
I'm
that
just gonna
is
have to have you cook for me there, Major.
Yeah,
well.
I got to
Hell,
get
why
back
not?
to California. I need to get some Opus. I want to go to the best way to drink Opus One wine is to
Tell me.
go to their
Oh
winery
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You
and
need a you need an
just pay the
invite.
tasting fee and drink Opus One wine
Yeah. It
because
really
it's
is.
expensive. It's like $1,000 a bottle.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into making that wine, and but it's unparalleled. It really is unparalleled. Um, and I don't think. Well, let's see. The last time we opened a really good bottle of wine was what,
That Big
yesterday?
Fat was pretty good. Oh my God, it was as good as
It was just
Strawberry Hill.
insane.
I
It
I
was off
I
the
was
chart.
like
It was like
Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill, but it was expensive. It was
it.
good.
No, my God, man. There was everybody
Boone's
was
Farm
silent.
is
That was
good.
Yeah.
Yes. How did they make expensive grape wine taste like Strawberry Hill? I don't know, but it was
mm,
delicious.
oh my God, yeah. No, uh, I'm still thinking about it right now. That's like that
Yeah.
was so good.
You think they're still open?
I don't know. Do you want to? I wonder if they deliver, man. Oh, I know they do. I know they do. That would be dangerous. That would be dangerous. Wow.
Oh my goodness. And I got
Yeah.
and I
Best
got and I
best
got to
best
apologize
restaurant.
to Q because the of all the takeout that got ordered. I didn't realize they were ordering takeout and Q paid for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you know, like there's a lot of really happy people in Marrakesh right now. I'm surprised that they had that bottle so well stored in Africa. I mean, of all places, it's just insane. But yeah, that was beautiful. Oh my God.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, pick a bottle and then put a meal around it. Oh, the other thing too, sellertracker.com. I don't, it's been years since I've been there, but you can go in and take a look at what other people have stored, and then they want to talk about their wine. And you might be able to swap a bottle if you've got something, and you'll be able to get a bottle for a special occasion, and then talk to them about when's the last time they opened one of their bottles and what they had with it or what they would cook with it. It's a, yeah, that's a great resource, and it's I don't think it's censored yet. I don't think.
Well, I got censored because I wanted to mention about Gavin Newsom and the fact that this is not going to make the news, but I found out about it just right before the show, and I don't know all the details. But before he got elected, somebody gave him a house to help pay for stuff, and he never reported it. So he
Oh
had
yeah.
an entire house donated to him, and it wasn't reported.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to interject the segue on that one, Gavin Newsom actually does own a winery, and it's just, I'm not
That's
going to name it.
right.
I'm
That's
not going to
right.
name it,
They
but
he
it's garbage wine now. After,
he
it's garbage. They bled
he
the whole company dry.
what was it, Burdock, that he said that no other winery could go and do it but his winery. What was it?
Uh, what,
Liquor,
some sort of
turning red
fortification,
wine into
or
liquor.
in California it would be fortification, or
Since the COVID,
You know,
he
there
oh
there is
went
a
no,
to
I don't
particular
know
wineries to
about
wine
that.
do
that's
this.
fortified that's good though. They
I don't
like
know.
uh like port is fortified and it's supposed to be fortified.
And when you say
Oh yeah,
fortified,
port, yeah.
it's with what? Like some sort of extra chemicals
Yeah,
or what?
they add alcohol to port in Portugal. Port comes from Portugal.
Yeah, because I've noticed there's a difference in taste depending on where you get it from. I like the land, but you can
Oh,
taste some of that Monsanto flavor. You know.
the it's
Monsanto.
Monsanto
Yeah,
flavor
you know what I'm talking
flavor.
about, Murdoch.
Okay.
So D, I don't know what, since COVID, what special thing he absolved himself from the winery, but that should enrage a lot of people, because if
It
he's
did. I
classified
really
him.
wish I could remember what it was, but there were a lot of people tweeting about it. Probably, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. Um,
Oh, and I'll have to. I'm like, the name. I can see the color scheme of and he had a restaurant, several restaurants based on the winery,
mhm.
and they owned a bunch of Squaw Valley up in, at the lake there, Lake Tahoe,
And that might have
and
been it. His winery was
yeah.
able to remain open, and the other ones had to shut their doors.
Yeah, I'm just reading that. Van Jen has just posted that. That is excellent information. You guys are the news now. And just because I
Mm.
don't talk to you or somebody doesn't talk to you and you post it here, we are reading it.
Yeah, there's somebody actively watching and reading, and there's everybody's doing something.
I think we have a Kafka guy there in the chat room today. I saw him, but he didn't sign in. Probably he's only got that tunnel connection. Sometimes Kafka guy gets on there, Phil,
Hmm.
and he's got that can and the wires tied to the internet. He's like,
Reminds me when we used to go
this is how
camping
we
as
talk.
kids.
This is how the
Hey, can you
internet
hear
fantasy
me?
works.
Oh man, you guys were talking all about food and stuff, and then I thought about yesterday. I went to. Is it still? Yeah, it's still today. So yesterday we went to the celebration of life for Rudy, and afterwards we went to go and eat at the German restaurant. So it's been a while. It's like I had schnitzel and German potato salad and cucumber
Apple
salad,
wine.
and I can't remember the
Apple
name.
wine.
Oh my goodness, it was just so. I was sitting there and a fresh brochin. I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten real German food in a while, so it was really good, and I got to spend time with my mom and my dad, and yeah, it was really really cool.
I like German food. It's really It's solid. It's sturdy. It's good.
Savory.
Yeah,
Savory.
like a German pork chop and apple wine
Mm,
and
yes.
potatoes. Just boil those potatoes. Thank you.
Oh man, potato
Yeah.
balls. What about potato balls?
Good. Good,
Potato
good,
balls are
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
You
we call them tater tots where I come from.
No, no, I'm talking about the balls. The potato balls that you can
Oh, the
buy.
little potatoes?
Nope, nope. They're about this big around, about that
Big
big, and you boil
big
them.
potatoes.
They're big potato balls. You make that and rouladen. Oh my gosh. You're pounding out the steak and you put brown mustard on it and you cut up onions and pickles and you wrap it all up, you fry it and then you cook it in a nice wonderful gravy and make
I'm
sure to
gonna
take
go
the
cook.
toothpicks out so you don't, choke on one of those. But I
Yeah, that
mean,
sounds savory. Yeah.
oh my gosh. German potato. I have potato picking arms, as
Let's
they
let's
say.
change the name of the ship show from to something that has to do with lifeguards.
Oh yeah.
We're all lifeguards. We're all life. Once a lifeguard, you're always a lifeguard.
Isn't that
And you know
awesome?
what? I had a house with a pool back in the day, and everybody that came to that house that didn't know how to swim, I had to teach how to swim. And I'm so glad I did. And it's because it's just so easy for someone to drown.
Ask
Sorry
me
about
how I
that.
learned how to swim.
How did you learn how to swim?
My dad threw me in the deep end and said, "Swim or drown."
Oh
Oh, I
no.
did that to Code Monkey, and he didn't go back in the water for 5 years.
Oh no.
Like that's not always the best thing to do, you know.
Well, at least I didn't have a fear of it because I was in charge of cleaning the pool. We had a pool, so it was like chemicals, vacuum. That was my job.
Everybody says that's how you teach a kid to swim too, but I don't recommend it because it can cause some fear for the kid too. It's better to
No.
put them in the water, have them hold on to the edge, teach them to
Yeah, but
kick, and then
back in the
teach them
day
to
when we
blow
came up,
bubbles.
it was we didn't ride in seat belts. We didn't have
We're tough as stock.
car seats, that are all where 5 point,
Those
things. It was like
wagons going across the prairie and all that. Yeah, we're tougher stock.
I let we car surfed before car surfing was cool. Just saying.
Yeah, we did do that, didn't we? Oh my goodness. Oh my. It's amazing more of us didn't die.
Car surfing? Like
Yeah. Like on my mom and dad had a hoopty. I was up on top. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop. No, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Well,
uh
we used to take the I had a friend that had the Volkswagen and his parents would take us out sledding and they'd pull us behind the Volkswagen.
Hmm.
yeah, we called it hooky bobbing, where you would just go and grab a random car after it snowed and everything's iced over on all the roads and you don't want to walk. Especially if you got your ski boots on. You just go grab the bumper of a truck and get on the bumper of it and
Hooky
they'll
bobbing.
hooky bobbing is what we called it.
I don't know what that was called in Texas, but we had a similar thing, but we did it on the street. Same situation, but with like your skateboard or your rollerblade or even with the bike.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a free ride. And then you get to the point where, somebody has a tow rope and a couple of cocktails and and it's at night. It's always at night and after a good snow, you decide that it's a good idea to strap on a pair of skis and let this person be in control of your life.
Well, we most definitely need to go hooky bobbing this winter.
Hooky bobbing's awesome.
It sounds fun. Are
Yeah.
we still live?
Yeah,
Uh,
we're
Yeah.
still live.
my
I think.
my connection is not showing us as still live, but let me
Well,
refresh and
I'm definitely, I'm also broadcasting too on my end, just so that we get out further.
cool beans because we've gone to zero data every time we talked about an animal that the PETA people didn't like us talking
Well,
about.
you know what it
We went
stands
to like
for,
zero
right?
data.
You know
Huh?
what PETA stands for, right? No, no,
People
no.
eating
People.
tasty animals.
That's right. Yeah.
Did I get it right?
People eating tasty animals.
Yeah. I don't know.
How
We're
about
the North Carolina branch.
That's right.
in your case, it would be people eating threatened animals, I guess, with the
Do
panda.
you eat possum in North Carolina?
I don't eat possum, but I know of people who do eat possum.
How do they prepare that? I mean, possum is like disgusting.
I don't know. I've never cooked possum. I've never wanted or craved a possum because when I was young, I got cornered by a possum. They're mean, vengeful kind of animals.
Like honey badgers.
Oh man, scared me half to death. I'm, yelling and screaming for help because
They're,
I'm
they're the,
cornered
they're
on a
the common.
porch.
They have imported possums to the West, by the way. There are now possums in the state of Washington, and they're not naturally from there. And they thought that they would help with some sort of. They're experimenting with the ecology there to try to get things to get more stable, and they thought the possum would help stabilize some other
They
population.
they they're having problems in Florida too. They pay big money for what is it? Is it the python? I think it's pythons that have overpopulated, and now there are people who go out there and catch and get money for each one that they kill because they're not indigenous to that area. Is
You
it
can eat
pythons?
python,
I
Do
think
they
it
have
is.
python sausage? That would be
They
interesting.
do. I
and they're
watched a
big. I mean,
documentary.
if you got 100 pound python, I mean, that's not. They're bigger than that. Some of them. I mean, I saw the movie with Jennifer
Grind that up with
Lopez.
maybe some wild boar. Those are
What
pests
was the
too.
snake movie with
There's a
Jennifer Lopez?
Anaconda.
there's a guy,
Anaconda.
yeah, there's a guy that
Yeah.
actually in that documentary came up with a recipe for python, and the guy doing the documentary went and ate some of it. He said this is really good. It's just trying to convince people to make this a mainstream kind of meal is
That's what they
difficult.
have to do to reduce the population.
Yeah.
If,
Sausage.
if people like it, they can extinct it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
Yeah.
true.
talking about eating birds. When I was living in the Philippines, they have like the Filipino eagle, and there's like four left, maybe more, but about four. There's not many left, and because they're tasty, and people ate them like turkeys, but they didn't reproduce them.
Mm. And then there's what is
We
it?
can extinct that Florida python if we get people eating it.
Send it to
Tell
Japan.
them it tastes like manatee.
I don't know, but the lady that was catching them, she was de-skinning it and cooking it and trying to get the family to eat it, and the family's like, "No, thank you, mom. No, I don't want to have that."
But
So
it's probably healthy, good meat.
I don't know. I've never eaten snake that I know of.
I've eaten snake several times. I ate snake in China, in Canton, Guangzhou. I had snake.
Somebody tricked me into eating gator.
I've eaten
What's
gator.
what's wrong with gator?
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't know.
really?
I didn't know
My
that they
my
only
voice
ate the
one is
tail.
interested in. You're interested in Guangzhou?
Somebody in the chat's actually making sausage right now.
Really?
Oh,
Whoa.
awesome! Is it our guy from Divide?
BCZAR Rock Beast says, "Not gonna lie, I'm straight up making sausages right now."
That's cool. Yeah, I know you got to get that grinder. And the thing is like the hand grinder is fine. Get yourself one of those old KitchenAids. I mean,
Mm.
they're the best. They've got all of the motor will never die on you. You can make pasta and all of that stuff. But I found myself making sausage for everyone. And if you got friends or you hunt yourself, or D'Artagnan, they're on the East Coast. God forgive them, but D'Artagnan every month has a freezer sale,
I
and you
put
can get
nutmeg in my sausage.
nutmeg, fennel. I mean, you gotta.
Oh,
I
right,
mean,
right,
you
yeah,
gotta go
fennel.
pine nuts. You gotta go with the rosemary. You can go. I mean, just. But D'Artagnan has these freezer sales, which are great because you can get all sorts of ostrich, wild boar if you want. I mean, you can get, and wild boar shouldn't be hard to come from. It's like they shoot them from helicopters in Texas. They're a total pest, and the ones that they can get around to picking up, I mean, it's pretty good sausage meat, and
We had
all you
boar
need to
hunting
do,
season when I was in Louisiana.
yeah, and they're pretty lean, so you got to get that pork fat in there. The good thing
Yeah.
is to make sure you got that pork
Pork belly,
fat. So,
baby. Get that pork belly cooked and make little bites. Or
and your
Mm.
elk, your venison, all of your deer, your bear. Well, bear you're gonna want, elk you're gonna want steaks on, bear you're gonna want steaks on. But I mean, all of your,
Bear is good sausage though because it's really greasy and
oh yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean, you could do huckleberries with bear because at the right time that you're shooting them, they're eating huckleberries, and it kind of tastes like gamey. Uh, as opposed to shooting a bear up in Alaska where they're just eating fish.
people.
You're going to taste that fish in the
No.
meat. But
Yeah,
like
fish.
if you take down a Montana bear, it's going to have a sweet gamey taste to it, almost like,
Black
and you
bears.
should be,
I'm not talking
yeah,
about
you should.
grizzly bears. It's like Blue Eyes was saying that they have a lot of black bears where she lives.
Well, there's tons of bears. Well, yeah, I mean, black bears are the most populous, but you can get a tag for a grizzly.
My
There
grandpa had
bears
black bear skins. I've never shot a bear, but
there's been there's never, since they started counting them, from what I understand right now, the bear population, especially in the northwest of the United States, is just absolutely, uh, I mean, overflowing right now.
next
So
year is going to be
yeah,
crazy because of the lockdown. Probably a lot of
yeah,
hunting didn't happen.
yeah.
And people are like against hunting, but the reality of hunting is it keeps things like bears out of your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
it's populate, and the deer control that happens, for example, between, and our friend from Divide who's in the chat, he knows what's going on. If you've got that going from, like, say, Colorado Springs up to Denver, you've got areas where there's just deer. Or let's say that you're going from like Red Lodge, Montana, up to Missoula. You've got, or Billings, I should say. You've got a massive deer problem. I mean, and like I don't know, every year 4 or 5 people die on that highway going up just from deer going through their windshield. And there's so many of them, and they cull every year. There is no reason, and I mean, these are all perfectly edible wild deer, and you can just go out and cull the herd, and you've got tens of thousands of pounds of fresh deer meat that's just absolutely ready for harvesting. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but deer jerky, come on, it's so good. And deer go, I
It
mean,
is.
venison in sausage.
I like corn-fed deer the best.
Well, you're not going to get that up there because, unless they've been putting traps or whatnot. But these guys are just all over. They're eating grain mostly, but
We need
or
to come up with a
grass.
cookbook, our favorite recipes, because we are
Oh, good
definitely
idea. This is a
talking
good
about
idea.
a lot of
I
different
can
Cookbook's
really,
recipes.
really
coming.
use that.
Yes. Let's have a
Yes.
Looks
ship
cool.
show cookbook. And and
Yeah.
and what a great idea because the best food on earth or on the ocean anyway is on a cruise ship. Oh my God, I love eating on cruise ships. It's like, oh my goodness. I want to go for a cruise just to eat cruise ship food.
Coconut
Mm.
shrimp.
Yes.
Oh man. You know what? I'll tell you. Yeah, absolutely excellent idea. I've got recipes. Jim's got it. Well, you got your I mean, your pancake recipes, multiple ones.
I'll share my pancake recipe if you guys share your best recipes too.
Absolutely. I'll
Ooh.
do my lobster bisque. It's man,
I
really
used to
good.
make that.
Oh God, yeah. And I do a variation with lobster crepes. So
Oh
you know,
man.
yeah. So you got to make the lobster crepes with the meat and the bisque with all the shells and all of the other hard to pick out stuff. So you're gonna have lobster bisque and lobster crepes at the same time.
Mm.
And yeah, oh man,
Crepes are pretty cool. Crepes are they can either be salty or sweet.
oh yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I dabble in quite a bit of cuisines because I've had like we're talking like Italian, Thai, Laos
Mm,
dishes, of course some
green
sushi
curry.
dishes, and what else? Mexican food, Texas barbecue.
I'll be right back, guys. I've got to go and put more water in the vaporizer for Lucky. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, is
Gotcha.
Lucky feeling okay?
No, he's not feeling very well. I'll tell you more later.
Oh,
We'll have to
let's pray for Lucky. Lucky's got
send
to
a
get
prayer out.
healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lucky's the
Um,
world.
so wow. Some of the sausage stuff. I
Don't
mean, actually,
look
you know what,
world.
Jim? It should be the Anon cookbook.
A
Because
non-cookbook?
yeah, I mean,
What you can
everybody,
eat raw.
the Anon cookbook. I mean,
Anon cookbook. Yes, yes, yes. Good idea.
yeah, yeah,
But,
and
I don't have any batteries for my hearing aids. That's not going to
spon
happen until I get home.
sponsored
So,
by Eight Kun. And
yeah,
maybe we could get
we
Q
get
to
some
give
coon
us.
recipes in there.
We could get maybe we could get Q to post a recipe somewhere. I don't know if he
Well,
listened to the show or not,
ask him,
or
Q, this
she.
is the questions.
Yeah, so maybe a recipe. Q can post a recipe. We're not, and then we'll obviously put it towards uh, your charity.
Jim is my favorite charity.
Okay, well, we'll put it towards
No,
Jim.
I actually,
Yeah,
but
no, it should be. I mean, you should after everything. You've defrayed all costs and your time on it. Then yeah, absolutely.
well, no. If we get the Anon cookbook, we could do the Anon cookbook for and release it under
Everyone.
like Disarm the Deep State. If you want to do that's a like a charity.
Well, you could put a portion of the proceeds go to. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks not to make a profit off of something, especially now, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, you got to realize you say this kind of stuff, and I've said it before, but the reality starts to sink in that the people that control the media are just tightening the screw, and they're letting less and less of the income trickle out to the point where if you have any sort of conservative viewpoint or liberal even, but you're not like towing the communist line with the leftists, you aren't
Hmm.
going to get any money to support your endeavor.
I think in a non-cookbook would be a great idea across the board.
Yeah, it's a good. I've got a lot of recipes that have been submitted to me. They wanted me to cook with them, but I couldn't get all the ingredients, and I could cook them up too, and we could have like taste tests.
Yeah, you have to. You can't post anything that hasn't been tested.
I'll test it on Mikey.
And then we also, Mikey likes it. I got that one. But we should probably make sure that we're all either deciding to go metric or imperial or how we're doing our measurements. Uh,
Uh,
it's
1 cup,
yeah,
two
cups, half
cups,
cups,
2 cups is
teaspoons.
a pint, two
Yeah,
pints is a quart, 4 quarts is a
right.
gallon.
So no grams, no milliliters, unless maybe it's
Let's
bread.
think in quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon. teaspoon.
or by the weight, depending on what the quantity is. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna weigh by grams or by ounces,
and
Well,
taste
so we'll
taste
go
and
as
then
you
we
go.
have
clean.
to say it's net weight.
Yeah, and then the pictures need to be. You're going to want pictures of it, so uh, we'll need to make sure that we've got. I don't know how many
We're
recipes you
gonna
want.
have to get like pro people involved in this then.
That's
Maybe
why
I
I'm
we'll have.
kind
know
of
the
mad.
pressure cooker. There's a gal who does pressure cooking, who does, but she does food photography as well. The
You
problem
know what
is
would
that
be
we're
fun?
all
Is
over the
cooking under
place.
pressure, like in the back
Yeah,
of a four-wheel drive Jeep with like a Bunsen burner going, and or or
Extreme
uh,
cooking.
or sterno.
extreme
You got a
cooking. Yeah,
can of sterno, and you're in the back of a four-wheel drive
going
vehicle, bouncing
90 miles
around.
an hour during an airstrike. Yeah, how about
Yeah,
that?
that'd be fun.
Cook ribs for your crew.
Mm-mm-mm.
Is sterno edible?
No, you don't want to eat sterno. I tried it.
It looks good.
It does. It looks like,
It looks yum.
man,
How do you
when
keep that
you're,
away from kids?
I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know. We had expired sterno because of, you know, my father had a couple of different restaurants, and they would do buffets and chafing dishes, and so, and he just had these boxes of, and you'd open them up, and normally you have like this jelly liquid like this, and you'd light it and it's okay. Well, these expired ones that have been around for several years, there's like this ominous ball in this can, and of course as a kid you're going to want to light that on fire, and trust me, those flames go like 5 feet up. They'll singe your eyebrows off. I had one. That's the first time I think I singed my eyebrows off, was on a can of expired sterno that had congealed into a ball and had become, uh, it it flared up. I'll tell you that much. And of course, you want to keep away from your dad, and your mom isn't wanting to admit, like,
Flambe or how do you call it?
Your mom is probably trying to transition you with like one of those brow pencils.
I don't know.
You
No,
just fell out of the racer, and now I'm mad.
there was certain trouble that I got into where it was like, your mom's on your side because she doesn't want to, say, well, the kid, got into something. And the last thing that you'd ever want would be your father coming home like without everything. Like, you don't want to bother that guy. I guarantee you. That was, and I was never abused or beaten or anything like that. I came from a very good, loving home, but my father was very stern and strict.
Well, I
And
never met your father. May he rest in peace. But your mother,
oh man, I guarantee you guys would have gotten along so well. Really,
your
really
mother's
is.
first class. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I love my mom. We just got off one of these, a whole family chat. Maybe you should come on the next one because you're part of the family. So, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, DC is Thanksgiving, and we had 19 people last Thanksgiving, and so we'll be
19
in
people in D.C. Whose house are we going to invade?
my brother just bought a new house out there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll break it in for him.
They just sent the invitation, and I told his wife, I said, you're gonna she invited everybody, and I said, you're gonna regret this.
We'll show up.
So, oh yeah, yeah. So, but they've got room. They're in Virginia, just right outside of DC, but near Quantico,
Oh,
where
I
all
have
those
friends
people
near
are.
there. I have friends
Yeah,
there.
I have friends there too. CIAQ.
I did
friends in
not mean it that way.
Fredericksburg,
I
which
mean,
is right up there.
like, like nothing to do with the government friends.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah, yeah. Wink, wink. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's where you got your clearance, wasn't it? Huh? Mm-hmm. Sorry, man. I can't help it. I read all of this stuff online, and it's just
I just can't stop reading about me. I was like,
I
God,
know it's just
if I did half the stuff they say I've done, I would be like rich. Literally, I would be rich.
you should like exploit your own country right now.
Yeah. It's like, come on. It's like, I'm not
Oh,
showboating, but they're showboating me.
you know what we should do is we should start Jimstown. Oh,
Oh.
make them think that you've got a. I mean, they're calling you a cult, like it's a cult, right?
Yeah.
And you're cute,
Jim's
right?
Yeah,
So
we'll
you
put
have
it
to
in
like
New California.
step up, and we need to found Jimstown.
Jamestown needs to go in Oklahoma where spanking is legal.
Oh,
I'll be
I'm
the
sorry,
first
I'm
to say
eating
I got
banana
my
chips.
butt tore up a few times when I was coming up.
Yeah, but they don't do that in most places anymore. But the
Tennessee, you
legislature
can
in
still do it.
Oklahoma specifically made corporal punishment legal because their kids they didn't want them turning into like poopy heads like they did in Colorado.
It's a mess. I've had these conversations before. It's like when they took corporal punishment out of schools and started giving everybody a participation trophy. That's when it started going downhill. That's my
But
opinion, anyways.
my
Oh,
principal
okay.
is in
So
high school.
across the board,
His spanking
uh,
stick looked like a cricket bat, you know?
yeah. So across the board, D, you had a survey for everybody. So I think the last one was sushi.
Hmm.
Across the board, who has like been paddled by at school? Who's ever had corporal punishment? I.
Me,
Hey, yeah.
Me?
me.
Okay. All right. So we're 4 by 4.
I
Yep.
think it was like just getting etched out of my school as I was. I mean, it just depended, I guess. It was kind of.
You were a good kid, I bet.
Well, I mean, my parents would, hit me, spank my ass. It's different, But yeah, in Texas it's different. You're gonna get your ass whooped if you're talking back to your mom or your dad or
Hmm.
grandma even. Grandma was the
Is
worst.
it
She would.
legal in Texas now, though, is the thing?
Well, you're gonna have people who disagree, but people still do it out in the public, and people will.
It
They
is.
don't.
It is biblical.
It doesn't make a difference.
I'm
People
just
still.
saying. It's
Yeah.
It
part of
is
my
good.
religion.
What is it? Spare the rod, spoil the child, something like that?
That is right, sir. Very much
So
so.
I think we should get it back to maybe a proposition where, uh, and I know this is going to sound a little bit extreme, but just to drive the point home, that children are your property up until the age of 18. That
Yep.
Hmm.
your property.
We're
Okay.
responsible.
Now,
Parents need to be freaking parents.
yeah.
Yep.
Now there
Like
are
if a
regulations
dog
on
bites someone, you're responsible for that. It's the same thing
right,
with kids.
Yes.
and we can double this. I mean, it's like this would clarify a bunch of other laws regarding human trafficking, laws regarding the purchase or sale of children could be, if genetically, you see what I'm saying is that you could clarify it in the courts that say, hey, children are the property of, and there are inherent liabilities associated with those children, and you are
Farming.
therefore responsible.
Farming works that way. My mother used to sell me out to farms in the summer.
Which is
Who in the
fine.
room? Who in the room cropped tobacco?
I didn't
Oh,
never do tobacco.
No,
I
nobody.
can't raise my hand on
I'm
that.
a
No.
haymaster.
Yeah, I've baled hay before. Yeah, a lot of
That-
hay.
That's a hard, awful job, actually.
Oh, tears you apart.
Yeah.
Cropping tobacco ain't for sissies. I'm telling you.
I'm sure. I saw the movie with oh, who was it? Not Pocahontas. It was Pocahontas. Yeah, I saw the Pocahontas movie where she teaches them how to plant tobacco.
But to harvest it, I mean, it all depends on how far back you go.
You got to put like
You've
a
got
piece of
stick
fish
farms,
underneath.
and then you actually have the cages that you can use on the back of a harvester. So I mean, there's different types of crop and tobacco.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like Washington
I
D.C. is
wouldn't want
super
any
big.
part of that. I don't know.
It was
I mean,
hard work. My body is paying for it now. But yeah, it was
well,
hard work.
got to get the job done, I guess. I mean, I remember being handed a jackhammer when I was what 14? No, 13, and I had a cushy job uh, helping out banquets. No, I
That's
was
probably
four.
smoking.
So banquets was really like, oh, that was an easy job, just doing that stuff, setting up banquets. But I ended up getting sent over. It happened at the dinner table, and I said, well, everybody got a summer job because I mean, this is right after school ended. And I said, I do. I'm working at the resort. Um, you know, and my father says, no, you're not. You're working for. I'm not going to say the guy's
X,
name.
Y, and Z.
The the owner of a welding company.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Harvesting tobacco is cropping tobacco.
Hmm.
I didn't know what it meant.
Well,
I had
topping
to-
So,
tobacco is a part of the process because tobacco plants have these flowers that grow on the top, and at a certain stage, you top the tobacco, meaning you take that little bit and throw it to the side when you're going
It looks
down.
so yum, though. Tobacco looks like salad. Okay, does anybody make a tobacco salad?
mm,
No.
That'd probably be poison, right? That's
probably not
probably a
good.
Yeah.
deadly
You,
salad.
you you'd OD on nicotine.
What a way to go. God, I miss smoking. I truly miss smoking. I do.
Oh,
That's
did you
one of
see?
my favorite bad habits I've ever had.
Hey, Jim, when is the last time you saw it, or have you ever seen the movie Thank You for Smoking?
I've never seen it. Tell me about it.
Oh, please. It is a great movie.
I can
It
think of a
has
lot of good reasons for people to smoke.
The movie is about lobbyists, and it's about this guy, Nick Palin, Nick something. I'll get the name here in a bit. And he is a DC lobbyist for the tobacco industry. And it is it's a really incredible movie about how he manipulates. And of course Hollywood is doing it in the way that, okay, they're manipulating industry to, kill people. And his friends are the ATF, like the NRA. They can't say the NRA because the NRA would have sued them. And then you've got the Alcohol Council, who is this really, like, I can't remember the Robert Duvall is in the movie. He does an incredible job. I mean, it's called Thank You for Smoking, and it shows you what, how Hollywood decides that they're going to be against something and all of this, and
But if they're going to be
they do a good
against
job.
smoking, they need to figure out a way to pay for the things that smokers pay for.
Well, this isn't necessarily about that the way I see it. Years later, after seeing it, this movie is probably 10 years old. It's a statement on Washington, D.C. about how you can get the most ridiculous things, like, for example, endorsing people to riot in the streets and murder each other, uh, approved by the general public and the media.
I
Nick,
honestly feel in 2021 there will be some recourse for what these idiots have done to our country in 2020.
I think you're right, and the actions that everybody around us are taking right now uh, are going to be the foundation of that. I wholly and honestly believe that.
And being on the right side of history does not necessarily mean you're on the right side of public opinion right now.
That's correct. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. But I do. You should check out that movie. It's not only entertaining, but it
I will. That
it'll.
sounds like the kind of movie I want to watch.
I want to be the Nick Naylor guy for you, but there's no way for me to get out the message before getting banned. I want to really
Well, there will be. Our network is
get
coming.
public.
It's looking like my CPUs are going to be delivered tomorrow.
Oh man, that's so
We
sexy.
get stuff
It's
transferred
so
over.
like
Every,
that is so hot. I'm a techno guy, so I was like, oh my god. He was telling me yesterday what he got on order. This is nuts. I mean, for video processing, you guys, I'm sorry to jump in on this, but I mean,
Ryzen.
like, I was like,
What do
I'm
you got? What do you got?
sorry, I was like at this incredible restaurant in Marrakesh with, and he was describing the. Yeah, I was aroused.
I'm a bit of a nerd too,
I
Murdoch.
have that effect on you, don't I?
When you talk about techno geeking and stuff like that, yeah, sure. I mean, racks and racks and racks of servers, but this isn't like necessarily racks. This is like, oh my God, you're not sparing any expense on making sure that
No,
this
we're going to do
gets
it
done.
right, and
Yeah,
we're going to start off right. That's the plan. And of course,
yeah,
things will still crash, but we'll fix it. And it's a growing pains.
yeah.
I know the growing pains will happen, but we're starting out right with the right equipment. It's not going to be like, oh, I got a four-thread instance of a VPS at Amazon Cloud.
No,
I'm ready
no.
to take on the world.
Tell
No.
me, this ain't like this dog will hunt. This is a pack of ravenous wolves.
Is this like a
Yeah.
Tim the Toolman Taylor?
No, it's kind of more explosive than that. It's
Ooh.
yeah. It's
Okay.
it's
Well,
it's
Like
more
it's
than
like
enough capacity.
one machine is like one rack of servers.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I want
Wait,
pictures.
we took
I want
everything that's like
pictures.
state of the
Yeah,
art and put it into like one little machine and then had it
Yeah.
custom built for us.
well, nowadays you're getting more cores for a better price, even. So
I got more cores than more cores. I mean, we got like, I mean, it's like a whole bunch of cores. I think we got 8 cores.
Well, no, but they've learned
I'm
how to
kidding.
they've learned how to the in this, but they've learned how to introduce each other and replicate. They reproduce within the machine.
Yes. We actually,
Yeah.
self-replicating
we
It's
cores.
have it
it's
inside our
it's
machine.
it's actually an organic server. Has feelings, and
As tested on the Starship Voyager.
there's certain music that it likes. So,
Does it have its own neuralator?
It has a Neuralink. It does.
I-
I borrowed that. I borrowed that from my guy that knows how to make spaceships. So I don't have to type anymore because I'm getting a little bit arthritic. I just think it, and it programs it for me.
There you go.
so all in what, for you? That's awesome.
No, it's to you.
Oh Jesus. Okay. That's even better.
So I can get like 20 of these on a rack.
Oh man. Well, you want some air between them. You don't know what kind of political strife is going to happen in that little
I don't know.
2-inch space.
I don't know how much electricity they're going to use. It's probably going to dim the lights
You
and
could probably underclock it, like tune it down or something. Or
That's not a bad idea. Um, as long as it's
I
staged
plug
and
it
you
in
have
and the
power
and the
supplies.
the
Yeah, you can.
municipality that we're getting our electricity from
Right. Yeah.
goes offline. But
Well,
we'll
you
be
have to have the
on.
good electrons. You don't get those Democrat electrons, the ones from wind that have been claimed,
I only
because
want
I understand.
positrons, man.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
I
going
mean, the
for
best,
negative energy.
yeah, the best electrons that are running through there are going to be nuclear power or oil, coal fire. But yeah, stay
Coal
away
fire,
from that. You got to
coal
stay away from that green
fire.
energy, man. That is going to contaminate your machine.
I like the logo on the Nissan Leaf. We could put that on the outside of each server.
No, use the logos and tell everybody that it's green power, but make sure
We'll
that
call it
whenever
the
you
Leaf
buy
server. I'm
anything
going to
that
call it the
is,
Leaf server and
yeah.
ship these out to everywhere.
But trust me, please, like what I did this in Seattle, it's like, okay, you have to pretend to be like, because you're going to be ousted from society.
A
I go and
hybrid
I'd
Leaf
shop at
server.
I go and shop at Whole Foods, and I'd send my ex-wife, she'd go in and spend $400 on groceries that we should be paying $150 for. But I would make sure to, because we need a balance. We need a balance. And so while she was in shopping, I would change my oil and just open that goddamn thing up and just let it flow, baby.
In the parking
All
lot.
that dirty oil, right, right in front of Whole Foods. I changed my oil. And, I mean, that's my way of making sure that we have a balance, because we need a balance in the world. No,
And
I
then,
mean, I hit
then you lit the drain on fire.
damn straight. I wish I could. I wish I could. But I'm serious. It's like there has to be a balance, right? If they're
Well,
going
I
so
did
far,
in the 80s when I was changing my own oil, I just drained it into the ground. I didn't know any better at the time. But it's not the
well,
right thing to do. It really is not. I've done that too, what you're saying. But it's better to get some like cat sand, some kitty
Kitty
scratch
litter?
stuff, kitty litter, and drain your oil into the kitty litter and then throw it in the
oh,
garbage.
so I'll pay $17 for a pack of organic kitty litter in front of Whole
No,
Foods. Have
no,
it carted
no,
out and
no,
then put it
no.
there. Yeah, how
Nah,
about
you
that?
can get
Then
cheap
throw it in
kitty
their
litter.
dumpster.
Yeah. No, man. I
Or leave
mean,
it in their shopping cart.
there's got to be a balance. No, it's all a farce. It's all marketing. Um, the people who understand the environment the most are hunters, fishermen, people who are actually walking out in the
Teddy
wilderness.
Roosevelt was a big time hunter, and
Damn straight.
he did more for the environment than almost any president until Donald Trump.
And he's the last person who has tasted panda.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, it's true. Teddy ate panda.
Which history book did you find that in?
Jim, where did we pick that up?
I don't
Three
recall,
different
but I
camps.
remember. I remember
His
we
son's
discussed it.
diary.
It was actually in his diary. And
His
he
diary and his son's diary corroborates it, that they shot a panda. Yeah,
in
and
China
Wow.
ate it.
ate it.
Yeah, and they chowed down.
The
I
people
mean,
didn't want to cook it for him, but they cooked it.
they cooked it because they eat what they shoot. So,
Did they make it into a stew?
I
uh,
don't recall. But I do recall that we discussed this and we researched it and looked it up
we had
last
a whole
year.
show. We had a whole show dedicated to it, and it had all the research there. Phil, I think, is probably.
He's got a better memory. Ask Phil, yeah.
Yeah, he went. Well, he went into.
Because if he doesn't know it, he'll make it up. I'm kidding. I'm
No,
joking. He's not here to defend himself, so.
no, that I don't think. I don't think that that was the whole thing. That they never. We were disappointed that they didn't divulge any recipes or how they cooked it, but we can assume if they were in China that it would have either been grilled or in a soup or stew of some sort, and
Or
with
raw.
spices. I mean,
Was it good? Okay, cool.
panda stew. I don't know. I mean,
Speaking,
how about a? I mean, I think we should go 2020 here and go with panda smoothies.
That would be very good. Very, very
Panda jerky.
catabolic. Is that what they call that?
Panda jerky, panda smoothies.
But
Yeah.
it's not going to be good until we get that breeding program in Nebraska that's teaching them to eat corn and wheat,
Hmm.
like a raccoon will eat corn. Why won't a panda? They're related.
Well, we need to just beat it into them and let them know that's the only food
Yeah.
available, and they better be American pandas.
We'll feed them panda smoothies until they get it.
I,
Cannibalistic pandas.
let's see.
Terrible. Oh,
I
oh,
just
double
remembered I've
shot.
got some really good pictures of some raccoons.
If we actively breed them, raccoon is a panda. But if we actively breed them, and down in Huntsville, Alabama, they have a baseball team, and I'm gonna start going to the games for the not the major leagues, heck with the major leagues, but they
Yeah, the
have
minor
a
leagues guys are
Huntsville,
good.
Alabama's minor league team is called the Trash Pandas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drive across the country to and stop at a game next spring when it's baseball season again.
You should get a box seat.
I gotta run to the restroom real
But
quick.
I'm
I'm gonna
but I've
listen.
been in Huntsville,
Okay.
Alabama twice in my life, and if I go there for a baseball game, I might not ever return. I'm not going to get a box seat.
Yeah, we were worried about you for a while there, walking around trying to find water.
Yeah, I'm
That was
thirsty now. I'm out of. I've got this drink, but the more I drink of this cat tea, it's like no good.
Is it
you know
possible
this.
to share my screen so I can show you the pictures of
Please.
Oh
And I
yeah,
want to know
please.
about
raccoons?
Lucky.
Okay, let's see here. All
I have set it to share. Did it unshare?
right. All right. Can you
You,
see?
you can I can see D. Stevens has started screen sharing. Oh, pandas. Those are little raccoons. You should see San Francisco raccoons. Talk about well-fed raccoons.
That's my foot. This was in my back door at a place that I lived that was on a little small lake.
And what did they eat?
They like dog food.
Oh, good.
So if I
That's
got
mostly corn, so
and I left
they'll
water
eat-
out for them, so sometimes they would take it to the water to wash it before they ate it.
yeah, because they're very clean animals.
And they're smooching.
Did you get them rabies shots?
No, they weren't my pets. They just because I lived so close to the water, and I mean I was in the city limits, but they came up.
That looks like chupacabra with those eyes.
I wasn't really making a trying to make a good picture. I should have tried harder, but
I
it
I believe in America they have multiple breeds of raccoons.
I I believe so
Because
too.
the raccoons in where I come from are shaped different. It's like you've got like your daughter's got a pit bull and I got a Labrador and their head
Mhm.
is different. They're about the same size. That but they definitely have that. Pit bull's got that big frog-looking head because they
Right,
got a
right.
more jaw.
Don't
And
take
there
this
you go.
the wrong way, D, but you have really beautiful feet.
I've
Hey,
been
and yeah,
told.
guys, I hate to be the matchmaker here, but you both have been lifeguards and you're both single.
Okay, I stopped sharing now.
Just saying. And you're both about the same age. You got a lot in
Are we?
common.
Are we about the same age?
You are.
Huh. He
You
cuts the
guys have a lot.
microphone
You guys
off.
have a lot in common. So I'm just.
I'm muted. We're being set up, D.
I saw the movie Matchmaker, Matchmaker, make me a match.
Well, I know that I know through conversations and videos, I know a little bit more about you for sure, Burdock.
Stalking you already.
Is that a threat?
It's a promise, baby. It's a
Oh
promise.
God, here we go. Just nagging all day, all night. No.
Check your background here.
Jim, thank you. That's like, yeah. Here we go.
Okay. So, guys, I have to go. You guys can stay and talk all night if you want, but I have to go. I've got places to go and things to do today.
Oh, there was a conversation yesterday about are are we hooking up today, or because there's a
I'm going to a hookah party.
okay, but we're not meeting up with somebody as like technical people today. We're doing that tomorrow.
Tomorrow is technical. Oh, that's right. Today's not Sunday. It's Monday.
Well,
What?
no, today is also an
I
issue.
forgot.
Well, no, it's like technically a municipality
Okay, those
holiday
those uh those CPUs are supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So
tomorrow. Got
let's
it.
hook up tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You got it. All right. Have a wonderful day,
Because
Jim.
I
And
can't really talk much more now because my voice is expired.
well,
I know that I've hooked you two up. It's like
oh yeah, we're gonna be sharing pics and
of
yeah,
raccoons. I can see it. So this is a San Francisco raccoon.
raccoons and squirrels. And hey, listen, I'll tell you what.
Do they have chipmunks in North Carolina?
Hmm.
I always hear people
I've got
talk
a
about
mole
chipmunks,
problem
but
right now, so
other
if you
than
know
the
how to get
cartoon,
rid
I
of
don't
some
know what a
moles,
chipmunk
let me
looks
know.
like. What does a chipmunk actually look like? I don't
A
know.
chipmunk looks
Squirrel.
like
something that you don't want to kill.
yeah,
They're cute.
not me.
They're
I don't want
cute.
to. They're very cute.
No, they're super cute. Chipmunks are like little
Hamsters
squirrels, and
or
they're like
They're like
they're
little
they're
squirrels,
little.
but they don't have the squirrely tail.
Yeah, and
okay, so they're advanced then.
I don't know, but
It's
they
like
move
you
super
got
quick.
monkeys and then you've got the great apes, and we're great apes with no tail. And
A
millions of
chipmunk will
years
like
ago.
will hop within like a tenth of a second from one place to another. Chipmunks are really agile and kind of
Like flying squirrels.
yeah.
No,
Well, I mean,
I will say this that I've had Lucky now almost 7.5 years, and
oh
Wow.
wow.
the past year's been really rough on him because he had pneumonia. He got past pneumonia. I had a fire. He got smoke inhalation, and he has good days and bad days. And I'm just making him as comfortable, as I can. But there's going to be a period where I'm not going to have an animal for a while. I may get
Hmm.
a flying squirrel because where I live,
Oh,
I can't have a cat anyways because I'm allergic. Dogs, I can tolerate it, but I have to take those little pink pills. Um,
That's interesting. You're not allergic to squirrels and
I am.
raccoons.
I'm slightly allergic to Lucky, but I can't. You know, I take the pink pill
What about
and deal with it.
like an otter or something?
Well, I mean, they have fur like a cat. Squirrels do have fur like a cat.
well, what
Okay.
about
What
like
about animals that have hair?
what about a husband?
Am I allergic to a husband? As long as they can keep it in their pants, I'd be okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
No. I mean, let me rephrase that. Could remain faithful.
Okay,
I
I
have
got
no
it now.
problem with the other thing. I just have a problem with when it's being spread with everybody else in the neighborhood.
Seeds for everybody. Okay, there we go. Hey guys, let's
Fidelity.
call it a day on that. Would you like
All
to
right.
say a prayer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord,
Uh,
Okay, why
forgive
don't?
me.
Okay, you
Just
prayed last time. It's Burdock's time to pray,
all right, yeah.
and then just
Lord God, our dear Lord God, our Savior, please bless Jim through the next adventure that he's going to be going through. Resilient man, give him the strength, and give all the people who love him and support him the same strength to face up to evil. In God's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Amen. Hedge of protection over everybody who's in
There
the
we
chat
go.
room now, and if you watch it in a
Minty, you got
rerun.
anything before we go? Be quiet.
Oh, I just sorry, I was on mute. I just got back. Thank you guys for tuning in. All that. I don't know
You
what
missed
else.
it. We already hooked up the other guys there.
Yeah, I just got back.
They're
From
already making ground rules.
yeah, I kind of missed everything.
Sorry.
We need to
I'm
go and take
sorry.
a donation so Ninja can have a microphone. It's like
There
everybody
you go.
sounds good on his network except for him.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. I'll probably end up getting another one. Yeah, I don't know what it
Behringer
is.
makes a good one that is not expensive.
Man,
Or Behringer or Bellringer, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's Bellringer. Someone else said Behringer.
yours sounds
Humdinger.
good. Whatever you're using, I don't know what that is.
This is an AKG.
AKG.
And I've never heard of the brand before, but it was the only one they had at the guitar shop. So I
When
bought it.
Some of the gaming headsets actually, the one I have is mid to low price gaming headset. Just picked up on a whim, and it seems to be okay.
yours sounds
Yeah,
pretty good
use
too.
that. And get another one of those for Phil. Phil has got a
Phil
headset.
has the exact one that I did. Phil has the exact same model, and it's just it gets filled. That's the whole point.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Anyway, sorry
go.
for the interruption there.
Okay, I have to go. Everyone's had a nice night. Let's go to bed and let's get up tomorrow. And it's time to go to work, America.
Bye,
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.
guys. Bye.
Godspeed.
All right, guys, before I leave out of the chat, I do want to go and share with you from Ezekiel 38, verse 23. And it says, "Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord." I want to thank you guys for hanging out as I've hung out with Jim and the crew, the Tiger Network. I am so very glad that you guys are a part of it. And I pray for you daily, and I hope that you will continue to go and pray for my sister who was diagnosed with breast cancer, a friend of mine who has kidney cancer, um, and then the loss of loved ones in two families recently that are close to me. So be with those people in your life. Do not take them for granted, okay? We're not promised tomorrow. So, on that note, I think that's going to be doing it. I will say this final thing. Remember, okay, you ready? God loves you, and I do too. So, have a blessed evening or morning or whatever time it is.